Takes like 2 seconds.
Nope. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Thomas Tripp, joined by the beautiful co-host,
Kyle Elio Torres.
This is Unapologetic Voices. And today, we're joined by the one and only, the brand new Potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potato.
Introduce the puppy, Kyle. Good enough. He's very tired.
I'm not holding him up.
He's very
easily hold him up
sleepy.
to the camera. So
Well, yeah, I did one of these.
Well, yeah, you just sort of moved your leg.
Yeah, it's totally visible.
Yeah, but he's still like bundled up. He could be. Who cares about waking him up?
Ta-da! He's just a baby.
You just don't want to wake him up.
Nah, he's very sweet. He's very tired. He had a long day.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what
About
a baby.
like an hour ago, he was feasting on our skin and attacking me and shit.
He's a good boy. He's half husky, half fuckface. What is he?
Half 50% husky, 50% Pitbull.
That is what half is. I like it.
And I love that his fur is really fuzzy.
I like that he's got real fur because I love pit bulls. I don't like Pitbull fur. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I don't know. One time, my uncle was dating like this girl from Russia for a long time. She had a pit bull, and I'll remember this till the day I die. I was probably like 15. The first time I ever saw down a dog's throat was I was petting her and holding her in my lap, adult pit bull, and she looked up at me, and I looked down at her, and I was like, "Oh, what a baby!" And she opened her mouth, and like from the pit of hell, just unleashed a cough. No, she didn't bite me, but she unleashed a cough that like it opened, like I saw every orifice. It was like looking at a vagina for the first time. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Yeah, every single like hole opened, and I just saw it all blah, like shoot out spit into my eyeballs, and my eyes stung for like 20 minutes. I'll never forget.
Is that what happened with the vagina too?
I wish.
Okay.
But no, yeah, no. That'd probably be fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Each episode will reveal secret kinks of mine.
Oh, want to hear something?
Just holes shooting stuff at me.
This is kind of a side note.
All right.
Like from work when the IT guy that showed up.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with him the whole day.
We'll call him Mr. Lee.
Well, yeah, his last name was Lee.
Nice guy.
Really nice guy, really cool.
Hopefully he's listening.
He texted me and or texted, whatever.
You said it?
He messaged me and
okay.
he told me that
well, now it's confusing. Did he message you on email, text, or
it was just
by owl?
Normal text message.
Okay, I gotcha.
But he let me see really quick just so I can see the exact message.
We're getting the exact confirmation.
But he hit me up yesterday and was like, I started your podcast and it started playing in my car when you guys were talking about VR porn.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, all right.
Oh, he's watching Spooky Boys?
I think he was watching the Spooky Boys episode.
Hell yeah.
And apparently that was when him and like his friends were in the car.
Okay.
And all his friends were just laughing from what he said.
Good.
And then I was like, all right.
That's
and I was
right.
like, yeah, we got good topics.
That's the kind of shit we bring to the table.
Yeah.
Gooning. We should get the boys back on soon, I think. I think now that we're comfortable and stuff like that, I think it'd be fun to have them back in and everybody all mingle, professional, whatever.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, just because, we're going to sidetrack as many times as we fucking can.
You think we have stuff planned for this episode? We don't.
No. But the reason why we're out here today is because my bird has completely destroyed my computer room.
The goddamn mascot.
My couch is completely destroyed. It has got on the couch and decided to build its own nest. And she has not stopped. So I've just been letting her destroy the couch because I stopped caring. Because Thomas proposed a plan where me and him save like $100 or $200, and then we go and we buy new chairs
and a desk
instead of it being
a couch.
We're just going to have a seat, and then in the middle Houdini can sit.
Very professional.
Yeah,
podcast setup.
Make it look a little bit better.
Now this motherfucker wanted to get the $1,000 deluxe movie theater chairs.
Oh, I love movie theater chairs.
I know you
just don't understand.
You do pay that extra $10 for the MJR, not a sponsor, VIP seats.
More fun at MJR.
Man, I feel like we need a sponsorship.
Oh man!
Listen, we'll plug it in every day.
I would love a sponsorship from MJR any day of the week.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, so you were going to say earlier, whatever it was. I don't know what you were talking about.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. You said something like, hey, never mind, it'd be good for the podcast.
Yeah, but I lost it.
Completely
it's in space, brother.
Okay.
It's gone forever.
You know what's funny?
What?
The whole time I was with Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
I kept doing that. Because like we would be talking and then he would like cut me off for a second.
Okay.
And then he'd be like, hey, but what were you trying to say? And I was just like, don't know, man.
It's gone, man.
It's gone.
I let you have your moment.
He was just he's just like, oh, well, if you remember it, let me know. And then I'm like, not going to happen.
It's gone in the wind,
not
brother.
Coming back. I'll figure something else out to say to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked him because it was really cool. Like talking to him about like a bunch of different anime and then he actually reads manga.
Yeah.
And like some of our opinions were like literally on point.
Nice.
And I'll say this, there's this anime that I watched a long time ago. He asked me, he was like, what's like, you know, one of your like favorite animes? And I was trying to think of like, you know, more mainstream stuff because I didn't know where he was yet, right? Like what deep dives did he go through? And I was like, man, what can I say? And like at the very end, like when we just continued talking about like animes and stuff, he asked me what was my favorite, my all-time favorite anime moment.
Oh.
And
that's a tough question.
And that is a tough question.
What'd you give him?
But I actually have one.
You got one in the barrel?
Yeah.
You got one loaded?
And it's because this was an anime that I like. I don't know about taking a lot of pride in it, but I loved the anime itself because it was goofy enough, serious enough, and just fun.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Right.
What do you got?
And no one ever fucking watches this anime. And it is called Kenichi's Strongest Disciple.
Okay.
Right? It's pretty much about this nerdy dude who gets bullied in high school and all that shit, right?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, he meets this girl who apparently is like this really powerful, strong, like, I'm forgetting what she specifically trained in, but she knows a bunch of different fighting moves, right?
Okay.
And she just so happens to live at a dojo where there is a bunch of like, you know, teachers. And long story short, the main character, he gets really strong, right? He finally gets into the workouts. He does all the bullshit that they have him do. Even when he wants to give up and quit, he doesn't do it. And I'm like, okay, cool. The build up was really nice. The final episode, like it's just one of those, like, it puts so much excitement in my soul that I'm like, man, I didn't see this coming. Like the way that it ended was just too epic, right? I don't want to necessarily ruin it for you, but I'm going to ruin it for you.
I'll never watch it.
Because I know you'll never watch it.
I'm with you.
So the final episode is he takes all of his masters because he does the class with each teacher there. There's like, I think there's like 6 of them. I'm not going to count it. But yeah, there's a bunch of them, right? And he takes their classes and they pretty much just beat the living shit out of him until he gets good, right? But the final episode is he takes everything that he learned from them and is like, I'm going to beat the living shit out of my old best friend. Because apparently they made a deal when they were like young kids that there was this girl that they met, right? And they wanted to become super strong because there was this little button that they traded. Like they traded it to the little girl and they were like, hey, we'll give you this button if you give us your button, because she really wanted like a cat button or something like that. I think it was a cat button. But she hands it, they trade, and then they were like, well, who's going to keep it? And they're like, well, I want to keep it because the girl was cute, blah, 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 right? Like little kids arguing about it. And they were like, okay, how about this? We'll fight for it. Whoever wins the fight gets it, right? And then if you ever want it back, you just have to fight me and take it, right? So what ends up happening is that kid takes that shit to heart and he becomes like this crazy fucking MMA fighter, and he's like super fucking good in like underground fights. I'm trying to explain that character, right? You learn more about him as you watch, but you know, that's behind the scenes shit. And he like the episode like starts off with that dude talking mad shit, beats the living shit out of the main character, you know, and you're like, damn, how's he gonna beat this guy? And like he goes in there, he starts fighting him with everything he's got, and he's like, the guy has this weird ability that he can learn people's movements and how they fight, and he's like 90% blind or some shit, so like all he sees is a blur, but he can like memorize people's movements, you know. So he memorizes like his pattern of fighting, and he's like, well, now that I know your pattern, you'll never be able to beat me. And then he starts like beating the living hell out of him, and then he's just like, I don't know what to do. What am I gonna do? You know, the main character, he's like thinking in his head. He's like, well, the only way that I can beat this guy is if I change my fighting style. And he's like, well, how can I do that? He's like, well, why don't I just imitate my masters, right? So like during the fight, it's like he goes and he turns into like a Muay Thai professional, right? Because like one of the guys that taught him is like a Muay Thai fighter. And he like starts copying the exact way that he like moves and like the flow. And it like, I really liked the tension, and like the music was so good. Like it's not Attack on Titan music, right?
Right.
But it's like they put just the right music to when he turned into like Muay Thai professional,
sure,
to where he was doing Kempo, and then like he did normal karate. Like he just kept switching. And then he even one of his teachers is like a weapons specialist. So like she specializes in knives, kunai, swords, just, you know, weaponry, all kinds. And so like he immediately fucking like I don't know the name of it, but it's a fighting style where you use just the tips of your fingers, and it's supposed to be like blades.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So he like practiced it, and he like rips the dude's shirt, you know, and I'm like, oh, he fucking just sliced him. Like the fight looks so good, and he like beats the shit out of the guy just using all of his teacher skills. And it's like an homage to them. And it was just such a good buildup that I was like, hell yeah, dude, this is a fucking amazing part. But that's always been like one of my favorite like scenes, because it got me like riled up and like really into it, you know?
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is
something that stuck with you.
Yeah, this is where it's at. Like,
okay.
This is fucking peak anime right there.
Nice.
Now, there are others that have done that for me too.
Sure.
But that is like, if I had to remember that first feeling, like that's the one that always just pops straight into my head. What about you?
I almost interrupted you, but you were speaking with such passion and vigor that I was like, you know what? I'm going to let him do that bullshit he does where he just starts telling me shit that I don't need to know.
Yeah,
and it makes me not want to hear the ending anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was that whole time.
Oh, I know. I could see it in your face.
Because when you finally explained how awesome the final moment was, I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't. But
I'm with you.
To people who actually watched the show and enjoyed it, you'd at least enjoy the fact that I went out of my way to say all of that.
I'm sure they would. Because I've never heard of that shit before.
Yeah, it's so good. And then, like, it continues. You should read the manga. Manga's really good.
I would read the manga because I read, obviously, everyone reads a lot. Fuck happened to you, Potato? Jesus. I thought he, like, oh.
No, he just, like, he'll do weird shit in his sleep.
Oh, he's like you?
Like,
he starts twitching?
As if, like, he's being attacked or fucking running for his life. He'll start doing stuff.
I'm going to go on my little anime tirade real quick.
Okay.
And then I want you to jump in with something that happened at work that was pretty funny. Speaking of your twitching. So, some examples like that, I'm totally with you. But
I don't want examples. I want the number one.
Oh, that's hard, brother.
I know it is.
It's hard because which
one gave you... Because there's so many shows
there's so many.
That feeling.
There's so many that give me that feeling. And if I, like...
But which one can you put above all the rest?
Obviously, my favorite anime, Attack on Titan. Everybody thinks it's like the key moments or the twists that are like the most amazing. No, my first and like cherished moment is when Eren is a Titan and everybody's working with him for the first time, and they have the Trost victory. They retake Trost, and he's carrying the big boulder.
Yeah,
and he slams the boulder down, and everybody's like, "Ah, we did it!" But they like a lot of people died when that was happening. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That moment, the first moment where I felt like, oh my God, this show's amazing. Like humanity could do it. They have Eren. I wasn't thinking about why or anything like that. I remember that really sticking to me. I remember the first time watching Naruto and seeing Sasuke throw his giant thing at Zabuza while Kakashi was in the water bubble jutsu. And it misses him, and Zabuza's like, huh, fuck you, man. I remember specifically Toonami Jetstream went on like a commercial break, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like so tired. It was the middle of the night being 9:30 for me, you know? And it came back, and all of a sudden the giant ninja star turns into Naruto. That's when I knew I was watching a completely different show. I found that fucking amazing. Damn, dude. I mean, Neon Genesis. No. Here's one that stuck with me too, which sticks with a lot of people that have been through trauma, is Berserk, when the whole world changes into the Satan realm or into hell, and all the people that you like came to really like over 5 episodes get murdered and slaughtered.
So believe it or not, I have read a good portion of Berserk. Okay. But I've never watched it.
Okay.
I tried watching it.
Okay.
I could not. I don't know why. Like, I just get so bored, like, just watching it.
Yeah.
I spent,
could see
like, 3 episodes, and I was like, doesn't really feel like anything's happening, but stuff happens.
You know? I mean, like, the action's great.
The action looked great, but, like, everything in between.
Sure.
And it's not always action.
No.
For the most part, yeah. But it just, like...
The slow moments are really slow.
Pulling me away.
Yeah, I'm with you. The manga, in my opinion, doesn't do that. It actually keeps you very interested. And you can tell exactly where the author died, the original author, and his team, and like I think his son maybe took over. You can see it like switch immediately, the tone of the story and everything. It becomes like an upbeat fantasy, which I actually found to be really interesting. It's still dark, but it like switches to like despair, death, and hell to like, oh, this is now a fantasy adventure, but also hell, and I like that.
So, just because this kind of came up with me and Mr.
Finish the manga is what I was going for.
What do you mean?
You should finish Berserk.
Oh, Berserk. Yeah. Of course. I don't even remember what chapter I was on, but I was at least halfway. I know I can easily catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, reread, whatever. But Mr. Lee, as we were calling him.
Sure.
He mentioned another anime.
What the fuck?
What? Yeah, don't worry about him.
We lost him.
He's just gonna. Oh, yep, he's back.
Aww. Okay.
But he mentioned one of the animes that was like one of my like childhood favorites. I recommend to you to read it because watching it, I don't think you'll like it.
What do we got?
But it's called Air Gear. And I think I've mentioned it to you before.
Why does that sound familiar?
Because I've mentioned it before.
Okay.
To you.
Okay.
And it was also on that one episode that got corrupted and messed up. I explained a bit of it to you.
Our long lost best episode.
Our long lost episode.
No. Not only that, our best episode.
It was not the best episode, but it was a great.
It was 3 hours of us on fire.
Dude.
On fire.
On fire, yeah. You had coffee, you were going.
Oh my God, coffee. No interruptions between us.
We started talking about every cartoon show that could have ever existed.
Oh my God, we were going crazy. We were going crazy.
We started with Cartoon Network, worked to Nickelodeon, worked to
everything, man. Kids WB.
What was it? Oh yeah, we did WB, but then we also did what the fuck is that shit that had like Hannah Montana on it? What is it?
Disney XD?
Disney, yeah.
Yeah.
So we went
even more.
Yeah.
We went back.
And there was still like so much stuff that like we had to look up names because we fucking forgot them.
God damn it. It's a great episode.
Want to talk about that shit?
No.
Fuck you then. But
damn it.
But yeah, so Air Gear, it's pretty much just a show about skating, but these skates have motors in them.
Okay, I'm with you.
So they go extremely fast.
Yeah.
Or it depends on the build of the skates.
Sure.
So like I'll explain like 2-3 people, right?
Don't do that. So
okay.
Have you heard of that anime? I'm sure you've seen some on like bits on Instagram or something.
Which
you
one?
seen that anime that's like really popular now with the Yakuza of these like anime girls that are horses and they like race? Have you seen anything about that? I know, bro. I don't know what it's called. I'm only going to spit this out for like 10 seconds and we'll go back to what you're saying. There's this anime that has like consumed a lot of Japanese culture lately. It's brand new. It's got beautiful animation. Like literally like it's a little better than MAPPA. Like from what I can see. Like that's top tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's literally about like there's normal people and there's horse women that race, and that's what it's about. And they're not really built like horses, like centaurs.
Yeah.
They're like
normal women.
I think they're like normal, but they're furry, basically, right?
Okay.
No. But like it's so crazy that like I think an American student or something like that. I don't want to put words out there in the air, but somebody made either a bad joke or like some sort of weird pornographic thing about the horse girls, and the Yakuza threatened that person that made it. I think it was like a hentai thing. They threatened the person that made it because it made their like favorite anime look bad. Like it's crazy, and you haven't seen anything about this?
No.
It's like insane.
I don't know what
like
you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like an anime about girls racing, but they're like horsewomen.
Okay.
It's crazy.
That's something to look up.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do that.
Bro, I saw the animation of these girls running. It's crazy. Full shake, full color, everything.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
So
go ahead.
At work,
yeah.
We recently told Stephanie, how you would steal waters from her.
Ah, legend.
So I think it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, we're fucking hilarious.
Like how you explained how you were stealing shit. Just so that you know, you were officially banned from her office.
That's fine.
I as well am banned from her office.
That's okay.
Which is like, okay, whatever.
Right.
I can live with being banned.
That will last 3 days before she gets bored to come talk to me.
Okay.
Or vice versa.
Yeah,
right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
But you left, right?
Right.
And like in my head, when we were telling her all that shit and you closed the door and she didn't give a fuck, right?
I was very disappointed by it.
I was very disappointed.
We do need to explain what we're talking about.
Okay. So first and foremost,
let them know.
There's this lovely lady. Her name is Stephanie.
She looks like Thor and Oakenshield from The Hobbit. Go ahead.
Okay. And she is probably one.
You didn't like that joke?
I couldn't picture it fast enough, so I didn't laugh.
Okay.
But she is probably one of the angriest people at our job. But it's like a fun angry to where like we come up to her, we say some crazy shit, she overreacts, and then everything goes back to normal, and it's fucking hilarious because of like her reactions.
Right. She's like the office aunt.
Yeah. Literally. So what ended up happening was I remembered that I had a recording on my phone, which I can't play it because we're recording right now.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah, which is a damn shame. But long story short, it's Thomas calling me and saying, hey, just so that you know, every day I've been going into Stephanie's office and stealing her water bottles.
Goddamn right.
Right when she's not looking, I take them and I run away. And he like stole something from her and she started going crazy and had a big fit. And she came to the next room to like yell at him to see if he did it. But as she's walking in, he's like, hey man, who the fuck stole my water bottle? Like someone stole his. So she was like, there's some asshole out here stealing all our shit. Blah, blah, blah. We got to band together. Right. So like really funny fucking voicemail I got.
Dude, if I ever got not kidnapped, but if I ever got like pulled in by the FBI
Yeah.
and took like a lie detector test, I would be fucking flawless. You couldn't get shit out of me. I'm like,
whatever you say, buddy.
Dude, my lies are like fucking written in stone, man.
But so then right after that, Thomas is like, we should just fucking tell her. And I was like, all right, let's go. We walk into her office, we shut the door, and she's like, what the fuck do both of you want? And we're like, hey, I gotta play this for you. And then I play it, and she just sits there nonchalant, not giving a fuck. And she's like, okay, and I don't care. Complete switch. We did not expect that kind of reaction.
No, not at all. I was expecting her to be like, you motherfuckers.
Yelling at us. She's like, I don't give a fuck.
Because I kept this up for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Where every day she left her office door open, I would like literally sneak in and steal water bottles from her.
Yeah, all the time. And then like, we're just telling her, and then like she kind of like killed the fun for some reason. Bro. And we were like, oh well, we'll just walk away now. We leave, and then I'm sitting in my office pretty much minding my business. Thomas already left. This is like hours after. Dude, she comes bursting through the fucking door.
Okay.
And she starts yelling in my face saying, you better go buy me a fucking water right now. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, you and your little fucking buddy Thomas stealing all of my fucking water. I need it now. Like, wow. I want it. And then I'm like, look, man, I can get you one. You want it tomorrow? I got you. And then like, I'm talking normal, right?
Wow.
Like, I'm not crazy.
Sure.
But she started flipping out. This was the reaction we were supposed to have.
Yeah, hours ago. Yeah.
No.
I didn't know this.
She flips out on me and she's like, you tell that little pansy ass bitch that I want my water on Monday.
That's our Stephanie.
I'm sitting there laughing my ass off. Yeah. And she's getting pissed because she's like, this isn't fucking funny. This is theft. You've been stealing from me. I was like, hey man, it was him, not me. But I decided to take some of the blame. And that's what I said.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I need you to calm the fuck down. I can get you water. Don't worry. I owe you like a bottle, if anything. And she's like, she's just going off.
Damn.
Right? She's like, I can't wait to report this, even though I'm not gonna, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's saying all this shit.
Sure. Stuff that would have been funny hours ago.
Right. I was waiting for you to be there so me and you could just laugh it off and be like, yeah, whatever. Right. But she waited until it was me and she ran in. Because I feel like if she did it to you, you wouldn't have given a fuck.
There it is.
You would have accepted it. But like me, I'm like, hey, man, back off. What did I do to you?
Sure,
I didn't steal your fucking water. It was that guy. Except once. But I'm just saying.
Those were solid cracks.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Those were nice.
But yeah, she like freaked out and did all that crazy shit. And I was just like, oh, in front of the new girl too.
Hell yeah. Which
was hilarious as fuck because she was like, and now you got me acting crazy in front of this girl who thinks I'm probably a bitch now. And then she like pauses and then she's like, just so that you understand, I usually don't act like this. It's only when they rile me up. And then I looked at her, I was like, all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
And then she continues yelling at me. Yeah. And then she leaves. And then I'm just sitting there like, man, where the fuck is Thomas at this time? Right. I needed him here.
Damn, bro.
He needed to hear this. It was so good.
I'm sad I missed it. Oh. That actually wasn't the work thing I was talking about.
Oh.
I just thought it would be really funny to bring up when I was just kind of wrapping up eating lunch.
Oh, you were eating
and
the
Stephanie and I were having a nice civil conversation in the room and in my office, and you walked in, kind of joined in for a second. Hold on!
I heard white people.
You did say that.
Yeah.
Like, so I heard.
I was standing at the door, and then I heard you and her talking, and like Priscilla was talking to me, and then I was like, hold on, Priscilla, hold on. Do you hear that? And then she's like, she got all quiet, and she's like, what is it? What is it? And I was like, white people. And I just walked out of the office. I didn't care what she was talking about. I just walked out.
Oh, like mid-conversation?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I walked in there, and I was like, I heard white people. And like, that's when you
right. So we were wrapping up we were in the middle of a conversation where I was like deliberately telling Stephanie an actual story or something, and I kind of just see you like looking at me, but I don't pay any mind to it because you're fucking weird. And I'm eating stuff, and I specifically go in my bag and I pull out an orange, a little mandarin, and I'm like kind of peeling it a little bit, and my safety radar's off. I'm fully embellishing the story that I'm going in with Steph, and as I'm peeling it and it's finally fully open, I'm nice and easy, like taking it piece by piece apart because I want to enjoy it. I see this guy just start fucking flicking his hand, his left hand. It's like away from me. He's flicking it and like doing something weird, but I was like not computing with it. I was just talking to Stephanie, and in the corner of my head, I was like, man, he's ticking out. He's probably going to do something stupid. And like lightning. I couldn't even see it. A fucking owl striking at a rabbit underneath the snow. He fucking whipped out with his hand and grabbed it with his far hand too. Very impressive.
Yeah.
And he grabbed the whole half of my orange that I didn't eat and smashed it in his mouth.
Shoved it right into my mouth.
And like before it even after it went down his throat was when I finally registered. That's how fast it was. It was out of my hand, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Because you got it so fast. I was like, wow. You're like that guy who's getting famous on Instagram now or TikTok or whatever, where he trains every day.
Yeah, the
to
guy
grab
that
shit.
grabs like the lighter.
He grabs lighters and
like
shit. Yeah, and he's like and I have to say,
that's what I was taking it from.
Oh,
I
nice.
just watched that video.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, I could do that. And then I was like, but when could I do it? And like I was waiting all day to do it to you.
Oh, nice.
Like,
you're looking for the opportunity.
Well, like I saw you eating your pasta.
Sure.
And like there was a part where you were like looking at your phone.
Yeah.
And you had the last scoop just right there, and you were just like really into it. And you just started to turn your head slowly, but you were still looking at your phone.
Okay. Yeah.
I was about to and then fucking eat it.
Or when I was eating the apple.
But then I saw you, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then I like calmed down and I went back to doing whatever I was doing. And then I saw you eating the apple, and I was like, I could steal the apple right now.
You could have.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then like, that's when I like looked at you and I was like, I'm not going to do it. And like, I just randomly said that.
You randomly said that. And I was dick deep in the middle of season 3 of Invincible. And I was like, what? Ugh. Like I was
so fed up with me holding his apple like with 2 fingers. I was like, this motherfucker.
Well, it was complete silence. I was just enjoying my show, and all of a sudden he's staring at me and he just goes, I'm not going to do it. And then he looks away, and I was like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, man. I was prepping the whole day. And then I finally saw it, and I was like, I thought of this thing that my buddy used to say.
Uh-huh.
It was my friend Leo. He used to say that he's the ultimate opportunist. So any chance that he got, he would take it.
Sure.
And that shit used to piss me off.
Audience, look at this dog.
It used to piss me off so much because he would do that to me all the fucking time. So like it'd be the last bite of something. Like I would have some fries in my hand, and he sees me going for it. He'd rip that bitch out my hand. Like he would fight me for it.
Damn.
You know? Like I remember this one time I went to Johnny's house.
Sure.
And what the fuck are they called? I think they're dates.
Okay.
You know, like the seeds that are inside dates?
Yeah.
A lot of people like throw powder on them or something, like chocolate powder or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
Or like some salty shit. I don't know. Some weird flavor is on them, some sort of spice.
Sure.
And you're just supposed to throw them in your mouth and suck on them. And then you spit them out, right? Fucking Johnny used to buy them all the time for no fucking reason because I don't even think he would eat them. Like he would never, from what I remember. But I would come to his house, and every once in a while I'd try one or whatever. But my buddy Leo fucking loved them. But I remember I was like, he just got into the house and he's walking in, and I grabbed the bag and I'm like, oh man, last one. And I grab that shit and I'm about to take it, and he comes across the fucking room and leaps into the fucking sky, rips that bitch out my hand. And then he's just like on crack, and he's like, the last one always has the most powder. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, wow. Son of a bitch.
That's actually pretty funny, though.
Yeah. But he would do that to me all the time for like anything. Doesn't matter what the fuck it was. But yeah, and he would say every single time, ultimate opportunist. You know? So when I saw that, I said in my head, I was like, I can do this. I watched the video. I am the ultimate opportunist. And as you were like, huh?
Dude, it was so fast.
Took that shit. I was like, man.
I can't believe how fast it was.
How fast I threw that shit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Stephanie lost her story.
Dude, it was gone.
She didn't know what to say after.
It was gone.
She was talking about eating tacos.
Yeah.
And then immediately went.
And that was it.
How did that get in your mouth?
It was completely.
What the fuck just happened?
It was completely gone. Yeah.
And she was just like, Kyle, you like to ruin my day.
Yeah.
And she just like started saying some random shit.
That's funny.
And then she got up and left. She's like, I need to think about what just happened in front of me.
Damn.
Shit was so great. I fucking love Stephanie's reactions.
Oh, she's great.
They're so great.
She's fun.
And they're so like unique.
They are unique.
They're unique.
That's a good way to put it. She's one of those people who you and I would be watching like an anime or a show. That person that's in the office that you'll never meet and never know, but she's that person. Does that make sense?
No, motherfucker.
All right. I'm sorry. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Listen, take 5 main characters in a show, right?
Yep.
Take 2 side characters.
Yep.
You can relate those characters to people you know. Okay? Then take a fucking 8th character in the background that's just there and has a couple one-liners sometimes.
Yeah.
Funny or whatever, but you never meet that kind of person. She's that person. Okay. Is what I'm saying. She's filling a role that I never knew that I needed filled.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Okay.
No. You're with me?
Sure.
Let's ride.
Rock climbing.
It's true.
Man, fuck this dude.
What the fuck?
We went rock climbing the other day.
Go ahead.
And he had all his little friends there. Like he hasn't seen them in months. Minus the one chick who was actually away for a whole month and like 2 months. Was it 2 months?
She was only gone for 2 weeks, but I haven't seen her.
Oh, it was
in
2
like
weeks?
3.5 weeks. Well, no, she was only gone for a week, but she was busy, so I haven't seen her in a month.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. She was gone for like a month and she hasn't been around. And like
I miss her. She's my buddy.
The whole crew was there and it was actually really nice. But the people who I actually like all decided to cancel. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just, work out how I want to work out. But the biggest thing is that John wanted to come with me. And I'm like, I'm cool with John coming, but I also know John isn't going to go to the same lengths as I am.
Sure.
Right? So I felt like I was like while at the gym, I was holding myself back more than I wanted to.
Yeah, you had to watch him.
So yeah, like I watched him climb and then like I would climb really quick. I'd go up and then I would get off and be like, okay, whatever. And I wasn't doing any of the harder ones because I'm like, well, he's not going to want to do the harder ones because he's not going to be able to do them.
Right.
So like, because he has a specific level, he needs to get to a certain
V0
position.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to work with him and I'm going to do it, which doesn't take away from my fun, but it takes away from like the feeling that I usually get from there. I like being exhausted when I come out.
You like spending time with me in a physical environment.
No, because I could have it could have been with Obeda. It could have been with, someone who I can joke around with about it, who's not scared to just jump.
Okay. Yeah.
I like the fast pace.
I gotcha.
Feeling of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best way of explaining it.
Well, we're on the podcast, so I'm not sorry, obviously.
Oh yeah, no.
But I'm sure you understand.
But
that I do see you 5 days out of the week.
This motherfucker goes. He goes and walks up to me while I'm like chilling, waiting for John to come down the wall because I already went up twice waiting for him to come down.
Yeah, it was really bad. But I applaud him for
I'm like
trying.
Sitting there waiting, and he comes up and he's like, "Hey, bud, I'm just over here. Came to hang out with you for a second to see how you're doing." And I was like, "Nothing, man. I'm just chilling. You can go chill with your friends over there if you want." But I was just letting him go have his little fun because I know he hasn't seen them in a long time. And then he's like, "Okay, man, thanks." And like all like goofy and all that. Like
I wanted to make sure you're good.
He completely accepted it, and I was like, "Oh, that son of a bitch! I'm letting him be happy."
Yeah.
And then he goes and hangs out with his friends, and then I'm like, "All right, cool." Me and John do a couple walls, and then I'm like, "Hey, let's go hang out with Thomas and the other guys and see how everybody's doing, right?" And we go to like find him, like where the fuck is he? And all I see is like two of his friends who are like barely doing any of the walls. Like, one of them it was Alco. He was going up the walls like crazy.
Yeah,
but, like his girl was taking her time for certain walls, which is fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I go over there and I try talking with them, and obviously Alco doesn't really talk with me. So it's kind of like, oh, well, guess I'll just move on to the next
I didn't know you went to look for me because I forgot to tell you that like I was for an hour upstairs lifting weights with Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Alco pretty much told me, I was like before I walked away, I was like, hey, where's Thomas at? He's like, oh, he's lifting weights right now.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not going up there. Fuck that. And then I went to go climb somewhere else, whatever. And like, then I met a bunch of new people. Like, I just started talking to people. Because,
right on.
You know, when I'm alone, I adventure.
Sure.
The only problem is that I wasn't alone. I was with John.
Yeah.
And John is not the smoothest talker.
Yeah.
As you know, we've had.
Yeah.
So like we're talking to like this guy that has like a military cut. Like they just shaved his head down.
Sure.
And he's got this Mexican girl that he's just hanging out with.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was dating her or if he's like hangs out with her, but
yeah,
from the consensus, they're dating.
Okay.
I didn't specifically ask because he didn't make it sound like they were, but he also made it sound like they were.
I got you.
You know, like he never said, oh, my girlfriend's from Mexico. No, he said, this lady's from Mexico. Like, you know, like how he was saying it was like everything didn't fully connect, but it all connected because he knew too much about her. But really cool guy. We were talking about Cheech and Chong, and then we started talking about Harold and Kumar and like different shit. And then we even talked about Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh wow.
If you know those movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, such great fucking
great
movies.
Films.
And yeah, we just like we hit it off. We were just talking, and then like the Mexican girl, like she talked a little bit. And I was like, wow, you actually have a pretty good, like, you know, your accent's not that bad. And she was just like, yeah, I've been working on it. It's been about 3 years. And then he's like, the guy's like, yeah, but she still doesn't fucking understand English. Like, we'll be talking to her and sometimes she'll just agree. And then she didn't hear a single word we said because we'll say crazy shit to her all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I do that shit too when people talk to me in Spanish. I'll pretend like I knew exactly what they said, and then I get into a whole lot of trouble in Cuba. Yep. But it was a good time talking with them. And then like I talked to a bunch of other random people. But like it was like my whole day was just like meeting new people. And I was like, I had John as my wingman. And like it was like I just want to say like it was so awkward because like I was talking and I was like trying to have a good conversation. And then John's just like in the middle of the conversation that we're having,
sure,
it's just like, hey man, he has a podcast, just so that you know. And I'm like, thanks for mentioning it.
Good plug.
Good plug. It's always great whenever I mention or get like a solid podcast reference.
Sure. But the timing
was so bad.
Yeah.
Because it was like John didn't say hello, his name or anything.
Yeah.
He was just like, he let me talk, win the guy over, right? And then John goes to say something. And instead of it, like, it was like in the middle of his sentence, he was like, yeah, he has a podcast. Like, he just changed.
Amazing.
Like, the sentence.
Amazing.
Because I know he was trying to say something different at first, but then
if we had a business, John would be the sign guy outside.
The sign.
Yeah, flipping that shit. Dude, I feel like he'd be stellar with that. Stellar.
No, he dropped the fuck out that sign.
Picture Mike, it's pissed me off.
This sign would be fucking destroyed.
Well, yeah, but like, we could advertisement.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, Mom fights over here, guys.
Join the tournament. If you want food, come this way.
They feed me.
They feed me, and I don't have to fight. I twirl the sign.
Dude, look at this puppy, bro. Are you seeing this shit?
Yeah, I've been living with it.
It's amazing.
I know, it's so great. I'll be like sitting in my chair, lean back, and then like I won't even be tired, but he'll be sleeping on me, and I'll be like,
dude,
he's so warm.
Knock you out. He is very toasty.
Yeah.
He's super toasty. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It takes a while for my cats to get like warm. Like they have to, like Herc has to sit on me for a minute for me to like feel any sort of heat off of him. Dude. He's instant.
Yeah.
Instantly cooking.
And he's still like a puppy. So instead of him having like hard bones that are like, he's like water right now. You can mold him in any way, shape, or form.
And he's comfortable.
And he's fine with it.
Right.
He doesn't care.
Which is what concerns me when I, see you play with him and you grab him by the fucking snout and just start throwing him around. I'm like, no, don't do that.
You can grab him by the snout.
What are you doing? Are you trying to get comfy?
Potato.
Is this good? Yeah. He's like, just hold me. I don't know how good that sounds on the microphone.
I don't know either, but it's probably better than your screaming.
Oh, he's like, yeah. He's just a baby. What a good boy. Another anime moment that stood out to me, just because it's in the back of my head.
Okay, since we're going back.
Just a little love. I am a huge fan, I've told you this before, of One Punch Man, Moomin Rider.
Oh.
I don't know why. I love him so much. Like, it's a joke comedy. It's a comedy anime. It makes a joke out of the superhero
thing. Meant to be a joke for everything.
Dude, anytime Moomin Rider's on screen, I'm like, that's a real hero. That's a real hero.
Well, yeah, he's the most like... He's morally just.
Yeah.
And he's so simple as a character.
Right.
That he knows that he has to try his hardest.
No powers.
To be the best.
But he's the best C rank.
Those people who are all above him.
Yeah.
All of them have some of the worst attitudes.
Worst qualities. Yeah.
They're all dog shit. They're all evil in some way.
Right.
They're all conceited.
Yeah.
But him, he's the light at the tunnel.
Oh, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
He's when you see it,
it
starts to sparkle and brighten and you head towards it.
Remember when my mom almost killed me?
Yeah.
I saw Moomin Rider when I broke the surface. when I got that gasp of air.
Yeah.
He's who I saw.
The one little gasp of Moomin Rider.
Dude, my mom almost killed me. Yeah. But she's being very nice to me lately, so it's all good.
Okay.
She's helping me look for a house.
She's helping you look for a house.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I 100% agree when he fights the giant kingfish or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah. His whole speech.
He's like
everything.
The little kid who's like, you can fucking do it.
Oh, dude. And he roars.
Everybody,
he's like,
everybody just starts cheering him on. He's like, I can do it. I can. And then he just like taps him and then he's like, oh, never mind. And then he just starts getting his ass beat. Amazing. Because like in my head, I knew that he wasn't strong enough to take that monster.
No, of course not.
And I'm like, damn, this sucks. Maybe something's going to happen.
But the music, the cheering, the build up, yeah.
Because, in my head, I was like, there's no way he dies here. Because, people get fucked up in that episode.
Right,
and like all of that. Some people we don't ever see again.
Yeah, they're probably dead. Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, there's no way Moomin Rider dies. He's so fucking good. He's
iconic.
In my head, I was like, he's too important to the story to die.
He wasn't. But yeah.
And then, I said that all to myself when I first saw that scene.
Sure.
And then I watched him get his shit stomped.
One hit.
Bah! Yeah. Bah! And then I was like, somebody's got to save him. And well,
Saitama showed up, but
Saitama shows up.
It was almost too late.
But Saitama shows up just to catch him before he hits
the
floor.
Yeah,
he's
nice fight though.
You did good, man.
Yeah, that was it.
And then he lays him on the floor and he's like, "I'll handle this."
Yeah,
but I do so. One Punch Man is literally the only reason it's so great is because it's a joke on
the superhero genre.
The superhero genre. Yeah. And it's such a great take because it's like you got all these other shows that take jokes like it too, like The Boys and all of that.
Yeah.
They're so good because they're action drama and what if
they change what superheroes are supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah. Which I love.
They give you the reality of what superheroes really think and all this shit.
Yeah.
Because in the public eye, if they really were in the public eye, you need to be likable. You need to
I think The Boys is the most realistic example.
Dude.
For sure.
If Superman was real.
Oh.
Come on. I get that he would okay. Say he was real, but he held to his standards of the show.
Yeah.
He'd definitely becoming a monarch at some point.
At some point, yeah. I like the DC. I don't know if you've seen it. I like the DC universes where they They switch it up, and well, actually, the clearest example is Injustice.
Yeah,
the Injustice series,
Justice Leagues and all that.
Yes, when Superman is like, you know what, I have to take over.
Yeah,
and then everything will be right.
Well, I just saw this like clip of Wonder Woman yelling at Batman.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
and then she's like, "How many times have you captured this man?
Yeah,
how many times is he gonna escape? How many times is he going to get a joke on you?" And like she's talking about the Joker,
right? Kill people.
And it's like showing random stuff, and like it's just doing like little flashbacks. And Batman's like, "Listen, it's not our job
to be judge, jury, and executioner."
Right. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and she's like, "Yeah, but if you had just killed him the first time, thousands of people could have lived.
Yeah.
Thousands of people could have
Jason
made
Todd
it through.
Would have not been tortured. Yeah.
Right.
Everything. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but the moment you cross that line,
right,
you can no longer go back.
Yeah.
Because you're now at that point where you're making those decisions. What happens when you do that? It goes to this, and then it goes to this, and then it goes to that. And then you're just controlling the world.
Right.
And then like Wonder Woman's like, that's ridiculous. We should just follow Superman's rule of thumb and just do what he says, because she was trying to make him like the leader.
Right.
And then I think it's Plastic Man. Or no, is it Plastic Man?
He's there?
No. Like I'm trying to see if the name is right. It's the guy that can stretch, but he wears the red suit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Plastic Man.
That's Plastic Man? Yeah. Okay.
Plastic Man is DC, so that must be him.
Okay.
If that's what you're going for.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Because I didn't want to be like
it's not Mr. Fantastic.
Well, I didn't want to, because you know, like on The Flash, they fucking made the guy like elongated man.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, it's Plastic Man.
So it is Plastic Man. Yeah. Okay, cool. He starts talking and he's like, "Hey man, with what you're just saying right now, I was a villain.
Yeah.
For
I know exactly
years.
what you're talking about now.
Okay,
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. He's like, I was a villain for all these years, and it took me 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, like 10 times before I finally considered being a good person.
Right. And now I'm one of you.
One of you.
Exactly.
And then they were like, well, that's not gonna happen. You know? Like,
yeah.
The scene.
They're like, oh yeah. Yeah.
No, I will say this. Plastic Man is probably one of my favorite characters.
Why?
One, because he's fucking ridiculous.
He is ridiculous.
And there is a comic strip, it's like a series, I believe, where he pretty much beats the entire Justice League.
Okay.
Like he either kills or like fucks up everybody. Like he is almost unkillable.
Sure. Yeah.
All because his son got thrown in prison.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, can you guys let my son out? I'll make sure that he's never bad again, blah, blah, blah." And they were like, "No, he did a crime. He's going to stay in prison." And he's like, and they pissed him off. He was like, "Well, if you're not going to let my son out, I'm going to let him out." You know, and he goes out there and he just fucks anybody up who gets in his way. And it's one of those, like, they underestimated him so bad, right? That he was just like, "Listen, I've worked with you guys for so many years. I know exactly how to fuck you up." And he just does it, you know, like I'm trying to remember who he does it to, but one of the people, he literally stretches himself so thin, he goes inside of their body and just fucks with their insides. Like, it's brutal what he does to that person. But I think they live, but it's one of those, like, you got to be really fucked up to think, "Oh, you're going to stop me?" And then he goes right into his mouth and fucking tears his entire body up, you know? But yeah, it's just how crazy and how powerful he actually is.
Sure.
But then, like, you know, when you look at him, you're like, no, that guy's stupid as fuck. Look at his outfit. Fuck him.
Yeah, it's like that other DC character. I forgot what his name is. Maybe you will know. Who? Literally, like, breaks the fourth wall. Like, he is the master of everything. He looks like a leprechaun, I think. You know what I'm talking about? He's got a dumb name. It's like Mr. something. He looks like a leprechaun. He's literally like a fucking multiverse, like, god.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's oh fuck. It's something. I think
it's something.
It's not Clipso. It's something like that.
Yeah, he wears a top hat or some shit.
It's not Bizarro. Bizarro.
It's not Bizarro.
Is the fucking reverse Superman.
Right.
Shit. It's something with like a weird name. I know he has like a weirdish name because he's just he's like a third dimensional or fourth dimensional creature or some shit.
Exactly.
And he just fucks around with people. But I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
He's a really cool character.
Yeah.
And he's really stupid.
Same line.
But
we're like
I thought his goal usually is just to teach people some sort of lesson.
Maybe.
And sometimes his lessons are just don't fucking talk to me. You know?
I kind of don't remember.
Because they're really bad lessons.
He's like that one character from Harry Potter too. You know what I'm talking about? It's a
Go
ghost.
ahead and tell me who from Harry Potter. Go ahead.
I don't like the way that you're saying it like you don't like Harry Potter.
No. I love Harry Potter. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed any of this. If you did, leave that like, leave that follow, and hit us up on our email at unapologeticvoices1@gmail.com. We'll catch you guys on the next one.